My 29M wife, 27F, had a physical affair, and I don't know how to feel about it. This is not my original Reddit account because of privacy. I, 29M, and my wife, 27F, got married in January 2020 in a conservative family setup. I work in the government sector, and she chose to be a housewife. We met 4 times with and without family before confirming our match, and had a 6-month courtship period. She was very shy and reserved during that time. In the last month before the wedding, I got frustrated and called it off, but our families intervened, and I decided to continue. For the first 6 months, we didn't have any intimacy, not even holding hands. Due to COVID-19, we were stuck in the house together for 2 months. Despite this, I began to appreciate her nature. She cooked, cleaned, and took care of me when I was sick. In the 5th month of our marriage, I contracted COVID and quarantined in a separate room. She took care of my diet, medicine, and constantly checked on me. During this time, I slowly fell in love with her. By July, we began our intimate relationship, and everything seemed perfect. My world revolved around her, and hers around me. She got pregnant in September 2022 and gave birth to a beautiful girl in April 2023. Due to tradition, she spent most of her pregnancy at my in-laws' house in their village. She insisted on staying there because her mom and sister could take care of her. I didn't want to pressure her, knowing pregnancy isn't easy. She returned home in February, and her attachment to me grew stronger. Her eyes lit up like a dog's, seeing its owner after a long absence. Our sex life became wild. She knew my kinks but wasn't comfortable with them before. Now, we had sex almost every day, especially when the baby was asleep. I was happy my wife was home. I didn't have to worry about daily chores, and I experienced unparalleled joy with my baby. Then the bomb dropped. Someone sent me over 10+ videos on Telegram, each over 30+ minutes long, of different video having sex with my wife from various angles and positions. The shock was indescribable. I couldn't watch more than 30 seconds of any video, and I know the video was taken between July and January because the guy lives in her village, and some of the clothes she wore were bought by my mom after the pregnancy. Strangely, I never cried. It's been 15 days since, and I don't have the strength to confront her. I don't know what to say or do. I think my wife knows she's been caught because I've barely eaten, talked, or had sex with her. She even tried to give me a blowjob, but I couldn't get erect. I barely sleep at night and pretend to be asleep most of the time. She cuddles me tightly and cries in the middle of the night. But my love for her seems gone, and I don't care about her crying anymore. I love my daughter deeply. If I divorce my wife, my daughter's life will be destroyed. She's only 14 months old. I don't know if this is a test from God, but I'm lost and don't know what to do. Edit. I know I have to face reality. I hope Krishna gives me strength as he tests my morals character. I need to take my time, and thank you for your advice. First, I will check DNA and STI, and I will update if I need guidance. Update. My 29M wife, 27F, had a physical affair, and I don't know how to feel about it. First, I want to thank the Reddit community for giving me good advice, and to those who DM'd me, helping to reduce my anxiety and just talking to me during a difficult time. I'm now in a better place with more clarity. After the post, my wife knew she was caught, but didn't have the courage to confess, and my mental health was in a bad place. So, I went to my sister's house and called my wife's brother to pick her up because I didn't want my daughter to stay alone with her. The next day, I opened up to my sister. It was very hard to be vulnerable in front of her, but I couldn't control my emotions. At first, she didn't understand the situation or what to do next, but she has been my rock ever since, taking good care of me. I convinced her not to tell anyone, but my mental health continued to decline. So, I decided to go to some place with some relative to clear my mind. However, my sister suggested that before I leave, I should give a blood sample for DNA and STD testing. She will contact a lawyer and also take care of my daughter. After 7 days, I returned to find so much chaos at my house because no phones were allowed where I stayed. My wife had already confessed to her brother, who was now begging me to consider it as a mistake and wanted to meet me. She also sent a full confession on WhatsApp, which was hard to read, but I empathized with her. However, it's difficult to forgive her for putting me and my daughter in this position, not knowing what type of diseases this person might carry. So now my sister is staying with me since she's working from home and coordinating with a lawyer to manage my assets and legal documents. This way, in case of a legal battle, I'll face minimal damage, and she's also helping with co-parenting. It's been a month now, and I still haven't faced my wife. Her brother, who is a respected doctor and owns a small clinic, suggested that if I agree to do marriage counseling with a specific counselor for 6 months, they will accept whatever decision I make afterward, and I wouldn't have to give them a single rupee. I also recommended no contact during this time. No calls, no texts, etc. I warned that if someone leaks the video or spreads news about the affair, I would immediately divorce her, as I don't want to feel emasculated in front of society. This is an update to say that I'm in a better place now, thanks to my daughter and sister. My daughter stays with me most of the time because her mother isn't in a good place. My sister updates me about her and crying about her condition, but I don't want to hear about it. It's too much for my mental health right now. Edit. I get a lot of teenage-type DMs on my profile suggesting I should just get a divorce or that she's not my problem anymore. Ignoring this deeper issue would cause lifelong trauma for me, my daughter, and my wife, which I don't want. Recently, my sister informed me that my wife was hospitalized, but since I'm not fully recovered myself, I asked my sister not to tell me about her until now. If she weren't a victim, I would definitely divorce her. I need to talk or seek counseling to fully understand the depth of the situation so that we can both heal and move forward with better co-parenting, or even become good friends in the long term. This way, my daughter won't face unnecessary trauma, and I can avoid making the same mistakes in my next relationship. There is a quote in Vinland Saga where Thorfinn says, "There's no point in peace negotiations if you go around punching people."